feeling coming out here, and this is going to serve as your overall spiritual advice, a need to look at things in a situation from a different vantage point so that you can come to a clearer understanding as to where you stand in relations to other people, why other people are not doing things the way that you would do things, and why your communication overall with another person might be contentious or difficult. And so the need to kind of step outside of our shoes, put ourselves in other people's shoes to understand, all the things that they've been through. It's like walking a mile in somebody else's shoes so that you understand the person that they are and how, their life experiences have kind of created the person that they are right now. And I feel like for a lot of you, your ability to sympathize, your ability to empathize and to understand another person is very immense and very, very deep. But I feel like in close interpersonal relationships as well, a lot of the times we lose our perspective, and a lot of the times too, our vision of what we want to build together as a relationship, as a unit, it might be, I guess, like it might be colored by our perception of what relationship entails, whether or not relationships are going to last, or whether or not we truly believe that relationships are meant to be, forever. So I feel like there might be some ideological clashes between you and a partner, between you and even a business partner, or between you and family members, based on the transient lifestyle that they have led. It's like they've been through a lot of turmoil and hardships in their own lives, and they don't see everything as permanent and long lasting, and it's really hard for them to kind of commit. And so it's kind of I don't want to say your destiny or your responsibility, because, they need to find that within themselves. But I almost feel like it is in your path to kind of show them that, hey, things are okay. We're in a different environment now. The times are different. So maybe you kind of need to open up, but understanding and have that baseline understanding of where the other person has come from, what they have to ward off or contend with in their past, and why it creates, this almost like paranoid person that they are, where they don't believe in permanence, where they don't believe in stability. That is really going to help you navigate this energy for this week, okay? First of all, in your love relationship sector, I have this card about control, okay? This is the Four of Pentacles, and I usually look at this card hanging on to earthly possessions, feeling a little bit paranoid that things are going to be ripped away from us, feeling like we need to cling on to everything that we have, and also almost like viewing other people as possessions, and almost viewing it's like being very closed off to the point where we need to be very protective. We need to take care of what's ours, which is honorable, and honestly, it's a good trait. But overdoing it can be detrimental. And I do feel a lot of the element of control when it comes to this card, clinginess, control, and wanting things a certain way. And I almost feel like, attributing our sense of self-esteem with our possessions, with the people that are in our midst. And I usually see it as like, the person that has like the trophy spouse, the trophy wife, the trophy husband, the eye candy, and that they can parade around town with someone who's very, very attractive, because they feel like it boosts their self-confidence when onlookers see that there was someone who's very attractive. They get a big ego boost. So it's kind of akin to that, and in a more in a lesser sense, when it comes to relationships, this is trying to control resources, trying to cling on to everything, because we automatically assume that our sense of self-worth, our sense of competence, and our sense of confidence is greatly linked in with the people we surround ourselves and the material possessions that we have in our midst. And I also feel as well, when it comes to arguments, when it comes to dealing with another person that you're romantically involved with, that you're married to, or, a significant other, whoever it is, that you're romantically linked up with, this is like not being able to see outside of our own vantage point. Like I said earlier, clinging on so strongly to our beliefs that when people question our values, question our beliefs, we feel like it's an attack on us personally. And so we tend to get a little bit defensive. And a lot of the times, the things that we are very defensive about are things that we know to be true about ourselves. And that's why it's like touching a sore spot that we don't want to look at. It's like touching something we have swept under the rug that somebody is now poking at, and it makes us uncomfortable. So if there has been, arguments and things like that, where a partner has somewhat like triggered or found your soft spot, these are areas that you have to work on rather than getting defensive. Maybe it's time to, say like, let's take a break from this. Let me ruminate over what you have just said, and then I'll come back to you at a later date. Detaching yourself so that you can do some inner examination, and that so you can figure out why these are such trigger topics for you, and why issues of control and dominance are playing out in your relationships. I feel like for many of you, it's like either side of the coin. You might be attracting people who are kind of like impulsive, or they're like trying to plan out everything for you in your life. So they might be encroaching, like crossing over your boundaries, or not respecting your free will. And so you have this defensive stance up all the time regarding a relationship partner, where you're trying to maintain your space and you're trying to take control of your own life. And then for others, there's this issue of, control and things like that coming in your relationship that you're exuding towards another partner. The partner that you're dealing with shows up here as the Six of Swords. This is somebody that has been through hell and back, okay? They've got a really interesting backstory. So if you're dealing with someone that has been through like a lot of tumultuous childhood, a lot of dealing with, a lot of relocation, moving from one place to the next. They've never had a place where they can call home. They've never had a place or a family, or even like a love relationship that accepts them for who they are. And I feel like this is a partner that has been through so much in their own lives that it's hard for them to believe in love. It's hard for them to believe in, soulmates and stability and even permanence. Okay, I usually think of this as a refugee card. It's somebody that had to be uprooted against their will from their place of familiarity and safety, and they have to venture off into a new land. And usually this indicates as well people of different nationalities, interracial dating, people of different cultures coming together. And automatically, whenever that happens, there's always going to be ideological differences, cultural differences, even cultural rifts and cultural divides that can be very difficult to overcome. And if there are linguistic differences, or they're saying difficulties, but I'm hearing, well, it could be both. If there has been communication difficulties due to linguistic differences between the two of you, I feel like that's another issue that's kind of like, it's like another level of that lattice on top of the existing problems in the relationship. So you're dealing with someone who has, he or she has had to overcome a lot of trials and tribulations in their own life. They are very self-made. They don't sit around and whine and complain over things. They just get things moving. And I almost feel this need for someone who you're involved with. They're constantly moving so that they don't have to process things, so that they don't have to feel things, because their emotions can be so overwhelming. If they took the time to really, see a therapist or to really vent, it's like it would open up a floodgate of emotions, and they're not really ready to do that. So you're dealing with a partner who might be very broken, very injured. They're moving away from that. They're sailing away from it, and they're coming into calmer waters, and they definitely feel there is a lot of safety with you. They definitely feel like there's safety, there's a purpose, and they're trying to build that permanence with you. So rest assured that you're with someone that's not going to be leaving, and you're with someone that finds the comfort and home in you. And at the same time, it's going to be a very slow process for this person to heal from whatever situation they've had to contend with in their past. And so, they're coming from a space where they might be a little bit downtrodden and broken. They're coming away from it, but I also feel like there's a very strong sense of protection that you are giving off towards this person. They've been through a lot, and you are also very paternally protective of them, to the point where it might be patronizing, to the point where you are offering to do everything for them and not allowing them that freedom of movement, or not feeling like they're capable or competent enough to do it. You might do it, like it might be inadvertent from your end, but I feel like you're trying to control the situation, okay? I usually see this combination as like controlling elements seeping into the relationship. One person might feel like it's healthy, but the other person, I feel like, feels like it's stifling. So be very careful about that. If that's your energy that you're bringing to the table, be careful in identifying that early on. If that's an energy that you feel coming from a prospective suitor or somebody that you're dealing with long term. The energy is very subtle, but it can be very toxic in the long run if you're not careful. Okay, if you don't nip it in the bud, it's going to escalate. So be careful about that. I also feel as well, others of you who are dealing with another person who's a lot more, I want to say, a lot more stable, is looking for permanence, is looking for kind of like home, okay? We have here the Queen of Wands, and this is a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. And it's also echoed in this card here. This is the Knight of Wands, okay? Somebody who is foreign to you, so from a foreign land, a foreign location, a foreign country. This is somebody that is a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And what I feel coming in with this card is, this is somebody that's really, really, really fun to be with, okay? They exude a lot of excitement, a lot of passion. There could also be a lot of chemistry between the two of you. And the energy is really, really strong. They're very proactive. They get a lot of things done in their lives. They're kind of on top of this hill, like, I've made it. I'm now scanning around for a suitable partner, but somebody needs to be on my level. Otherwise, I'm not going to date them. So this is somebody who is quite picky. And if someone doesn't really, they're on a hill, so they have a lot of prospects, right? They're looking at things from a bigger, larger vantage point, or a higher vantage point. And I feel like they see what you're about, and they need you to kind of like walk up this hill and meet them halfway, or they need to know that you're on their level in order for you to invest in them. And on your level doesn't mean material wealth. On your level doesn't mean professional like achievements. It basically means wanting the same things, wanting adventure, wanting expansion, wanting to, explore the world and look at the world as a playground, rather than, just going through the motions, work and home, and rather than looking at the world with a pessimistic view. I feel like they want an equal partner in fun and adventure, and I feel like they're going to be a really good person to travel with. They're a good person for you to expand your worldview, your consciousness with. This is not somebody who is narrow-minded, okay? I feel like, they have their preconceived notions, like what the world is supposed to be, but they also make a lot of allowances for other people. They tolerate. I'm getting like a very tolerance, a very understanding, a very maternal vibe with this person, where they care about people. They care about humanitarian ideals and goals. And I feel like they connect to people not as foreigners or like you're from this country, you're from that country, but they have this sense of collective consciousness where they see everybody as a human race, and they don't have any prejudice. They don't have any narrow-mindedness or tunnel vision when they deal with other people. And I feel like for them, there's also this innocent, trustworthy, and trusting energy that they bring to the table where they don't really believe anyone is out to hurt other people. So you might think it's naivety, but I feel like it's more giving everyone the benefit of the doubt. So you have someone that is really, it's like providing a breath of fresh air in your life and a fresh perspective. And because of that, I almost feel like they're really exciting to be around. And I feel that you are trying to build wealth with this person, okay? I have here the Ten of Pentacles. This is an escalation in the relationship. The way that this card is depicted is almost like castle in the clouds, right? Castle in the clouds, dreaming and conjuring up, this ideal family image, this sort of like a grand match between two people where the two people have the same educational level of attainment. If, for example, you have a PhD, they have a PhD. If you have a master's, they have a master's. If you have a law degree, they might be, if you're a lawyer, they might be a doctor. It's somebody who's very, very similar in professional achievements, educational achievements, someone who is a really, really good match. And for those of you who are in arranged marriages, I feel like your parents or whoever is setting you up might have somebody in mind for you who is a really, really good match. So a really suitable match for you, not just materially and professionally, but also a very good match for you on a spiritual level, and that will really allow you to grow and have a really fun relationship as well as a stable, suitable relationship. When I look at this card, I think about royalties and how back in the days, people kind of like, it's like a political marriage. But I feel like with this card and with the energies that it's wedged in between, you're meeting somebody that is a really good match for you. And I feel like there is this nesting instinct that's going to come naturally to the two of you, okay? Nesting instincts, people assuming their specified gender roles. So even for same-sex couples, it's almost like one person will step up and assume the feminine role, the other person will automatically then assume the masculine role. So whatever that means to you in every relationship, even same-sex relationships, we kind of need to embody the yin and yang energy in order for the energy to flow well. And I feel like there's this natural affinity that you have with another person where one person embodies the yin energy and the other person that yang energy, and so things will move along very, very smoothly. And as a result of that, we're going back to the first card. This is about, relinquishing control. This is about allowing your partner the freedom and also the opportunity to step up and, take control of situation, or also allowing, the natural flow of who's in control and who's relinquishing, just allowing that to naturally calibrate between you and another partner rather than forcing a connection, rather than, having it a specific way. I do feel for many of you in relationships, you are at a point where you are trying to, your nesting instincts are kicking in. You are trying to build something with a relationship partner. So you might be conscious or, a lot more aware about your spending, which is a good thing. You are a lot more conscious about saving up. You are a lot more conscious about, taking care of your relationship partner, wanting to purchase a property, wanting to buy a house, wanting to buy a car, wanting to, save up for the children's college funds. So you're doing practical things to sort out and balance out your resources just so that you can pass some things along, pass down a legacy, pass down an inheritance, and leave something of lasting value to your children because somebody is triggering this nesting instinct within you. In other areas of your life, I do have a spiritual advice that's coming into the picture for you. And I feel like for some of you, and I know it's supposed to be, spiritual advice, but I'm seeing it here, so I'm just going to say it. I feel like you have an ex that's still haunting you for some of you, and you have moved away from it, but I feel like you can't be rid of them. That's what it feels like to me. They're either relentless, like they won't let go of the connection, or you're not being clear enough. And this is something I've mentioned before many, many times for Cancerian people, especially the men, especially the Cancerian men. You're really nice people, and a lot of the times you send, confusing messages to the people that you're interacting with. And take a page out of the, I want to say, what sign is very, very final? Capricorn. Take a page out of the Capricorn playbook when it comes to, exes and relationships, okay? When they're done, they go silent. They don't even need to entertain that person. When they're done, Capricorns are done, they will ghost you. And you will never ever know, did the Capricorn person die? Are they okay? How could they not respond to me? Well, it's because they're very final. And also, it's because they also, and I feel like this is their incentive or their, rationale for doing what they do. It's because they don't want to open up that door of communication and have you confused, or they don't want to, lead the other person on. So I feel like with Capricorns, when it's done, it's really done. They close the door for good and they move on, and you won't hear anything from them. And I feel like with you Cancers, I feel like it's very difficult for you to do that. And you might chalk it up to playing nice and being courteous. But what it does is that it creates hope from the other side, from the other person, that, oh, they're still talking to me. They might want me back. Maybe not now, but one day. So I'll keep knocking at that door. And that's not fair to the person that you're dealing with. And I feel like you have an ex here that's a little bit ruthless and a little bit relentless and a little bit like someone who tries to keep coming back. And I feel like you need to be very firm, and you need to, out of respect for your current relationship right now, you need to be very, very firm about setting your boundaries with exes, okay? And the reason I say exes here, we have the Death card. You moving on. You've already decided you're going to move on. You've already physically, emotionally, mentally moved on, and somebody's coming knocking. Someone who still carries a torch for you. Someone who might have had like a very passionate one night stand, fling, relationship, even marriage with you, and they're relentless. They're pursuing you, and they don't even have to be a fire sign. I just feel their energy floating around you, and I feel like, first, you were stuck in limbo, waiting on this person, waiting for things to get better. You've moved on your own. You've moved on. And I feel like you might have been waiting for them while they were going around, trying to find themselves, and quote unquote on that. It's like trying to find themselves. They were like too selfish to be in a relationship. They were just like not taking you seriously while you spent a lot of time waiting around for them. And then they choose to come back and give you communication whenever they felt like it. With this Eight of Wands here, this is swift, fast communication, travel, movements, and whatnot. And I feel like, when the communication was not responded in the manner that they hope, they come out and they physically show themselves in real time, like showing themselves, and you've tried to move on. So it seems like there are some lingering energies with exes and things like that, and you kind of need to let go. And I see like many of you don't have a choice. You're letting it go because it's really interfering with your current relationship, and you're trying so hard to build that up and to maintain that. And good for you for realizing and recognizing that, because I feel like the ex keeps knocking on your door, and you can't send out mixed signals, okay? It's very counterproductive, and energetically, it's just it's not a wise move for you and for the other person. So lay it to rest. Other things that I am picking up from this spread here, I feel almost like for many of you, there is major, major contemplations about trying to get your life in order, trying to, get rid of bad habits, trying to reorganize your life, and trying to get yourself in a space where you can be proud of your achievements, where you can get things moving for yourself. So I almost feel like this fire lit up under you, where you're like, okay, I need to get things done. I've been stalling. People have been stalling me, or I've been stalling. I've been kind of like on the sidelines of life, just hanging around. And, there are so many things, so many dreams and aspirations and, things that I want to do, things that I want to achieve, but I've just been dangling here for quite some time. And then life, before you know it, passes you by, right? And it's sort of like, how if you've been like this, right? And then you get yourself out of this situation and you turn yourself upright, you have this massive head rush, right? Like it just feels otherworldly. So I feel like that's the head rush. It's when all the information, all the realization, all the revelations coming to you all at once. And it can feel somewhat painful, somewhat disorienting, and somewhat like time is running out. I need to get things moving. I need to get things started. And I feel like this week is all about continuing what you are doing, but doing it with a sense of urgency. And then I also feel like something is lighting a fire under you, and you're like, I need to achieve, I need to get out, I need to branch out, I need to get moving. So with this swift moving card, this is the rocket here. And I feel like, you're trying to get a lot of things finished, a lot of things wrapped up, a lot of things moving from your end. And I keep seeing oxygen deprivation, like for some reason, with the hangman and also with this card. So if you are a heavy smoker, okay, if you are a heavy smoker, I feel like you're going to try to wean yourself away from it, which is going to be great. And then if you whatever you partake in, and it involves, oxygen deprivation, try to wean yourself away from that, because I feel like a lot of the times, we need we need all the oxygen to our brain so that we can make clear decisions, so that we can, think clearly, think quickly, and be able to kind of systematically process information. So I feel like maybe taking that element, smoking and whatever, away from your life is really going to help dramatically. It's going to lift that mental fog, that sense of fatigue that you've been feeling. And it might help with concentration. It might help with a lot of things. You never know. So I'm going to leave it at that. I feel like you're trying to make a lot of changes in your life. The process is slow, and it has been stalled, I feel, because of your unwillingness to change and to kind of like get moving. But I feel like coming in for this week, you are very determined, and you're going to be successful when you are determined. So whatever small steps that you need to take, start it, because those are like the first few steps that you need to take in the right direction. So, it's never too late. Just small steps, okay? And don't push yourself. Don't beat yourself over like not being able to make the big steps just yet. For those of you who have recuperated from like surgeries or even like accidents and things like that, small steps, okay? Small steps and steady progress is going to be your friend, all right? I'm going to leave it at that. And Cancers, take care of yourself, okay? I'll be back next week. Bye-bye.